Hey, it's Soul with more 11.1 and Season 2 coverage, and this time we're going to go through delves, where I'll try to cover all the most important things to know to the best of my knowledge and the most recent testing. We'll cover how it all starts, to the gearing scheme, the new delves and bosses and curios and rewards, so please like the video if it's useful, subscribe for more WoW coverage, and catch me live when I'm streaming. Use the navigation to get where you want to go, and let's start off by setting expectations for the first week or two of the patch. The details are going to seem a little bit convoluted when I get into it, but at a high level, we're not going to have full access to delves at the very start. Before Season 2 really kicks off, it's likely we'll only have access to Tier 3 delves that drop item level 593 gear that can't even be upgraded, and using a coffer key at that level would only award adventurer level gear, so that's not recommended even if you manage to get one early. Brann will retain his levels from Season 1, but you'll learn early on that the Curios collected during Season 1 have been nuked. They're gone, and you'll be earning new Curios throughout Season 2. Other currencies like Undercoin and Radiant Echoes, those are going to be zeroed out or turned into grays. Meaning unlike Season 1, all endgame in WoW is going to start on the same page. We shouldn't expect to have an armful of coffer keys, and when Season 2 begins, it'll be up to us to decide what lanes we want to jump between for gear, whether it's hopping into delves or keys or raid finder and so on. Either on patch day or the season start, a questline will be available over at Delve headquarters in Dornigal. Brann will tell you all about what's happening in Season 2 of Delves and tell you why 1, all your curios earned from Season 1 are gone, and 2, why he doesn't have a hat. Part of this questline involves picking up some nearby goodie bags, one containing a random cosmetic, and another containing our first delve coffer key of the season. Now, from testing, these bags could only be bought on one character. Other characters, they don't get an opportunity to buy them. Now, I want to think this is a PTR bug, but hey, let's take every precaution first. When getting started with the delve season, definitely use your main character first. With the season starts, we can once again progress through the delve tiers, starting from 4 and going all the way to 11. Delve rewards have been increased in tiers 9 and higher, making them now a part of our progression path. They'll start awarding more rune crests, and even give gilded crests from tier 11 bountiful delves. There's no key needed. And you can loot up to 3 gilded chests per week, so 21 crests in all. Delvers bounties are also back and have a much higher drop rate, however, you can only use 1 per week. They're also unique. You can only hold 1 at a time. Again, it's up to you to decide when to use these Delvers bounties because they got buffed too. They can award up to 10 gilded when used in a tier 11 delve. It also no longer matters what tier they came from, and they're not tied to a specific tier, meaning if one drops from a low level tier delve, you can use it on a tier 11 for the best bonus. There's also a new mechanic called Nemesis Packs. It's kind of similar to the Zekfir buffs in higher tier delves. Up to 4 packs are scattered throughout a delve, and defeating them all will spawn a Nemesis chest at the end of the delve. Defeat all the packs and you get the best rewards. At the highest difficulty, these will drop up to 5 rune crests on top of what you normally get. So here's a chart to keep your aspirations in check. By clearing any tier 11 delve, you can earn up to 13 rune crests if you also defeat all the Nemesis packs. Bountiful delves can award up to 7 gilded crests 3 times a week, and you can use 1 Delver's bounty to earn another 10 gilded per week if used on a tier 11. So this makes for huge accessibility to high level gear compared to Season 1 when pure Delvers were left struggling and starved. 2 new delves will be introduced. Side Street Sluice is a very small and packed delve with baddies awaiting around corners, above, and below you. It's located in Undermined in the city proper. Excavation Site 9 is in the new cutout area in the Ringing Deeps and a ways to the south. This delve is very open, with an almost dungeon-like feel, unlike the very compact Side Street Sluice. Along with it are new stories included with all the existing delves. Like in Season 1, there's a big bad. This time it's the Underpin. He's the one behind Brann's hat theft. He'll be accessible as soon as we can run tier 8 delves, and another version is available to fight at tier 11, so it's pretty much like Zekfir. We don't know anything about him, he's meant to be a surprise, and I'll be sure to decorate his floor with my corpses as soon as possible. Let's go over Curios. Progression on earning these is only a little bit different in Season 2. Rank 1 Curios are guaranteed drops from pretty much any tier delve. We can no longer skip ranks, but using a coffer key from a bountiful delve will guarantee a Curio. So the quick and dirty of it is we'll be running lots of delves to upgrade them. Now let's cover them and I'll give some quick takes on which I think are good. Under combat curios, my favorite is the Goblo Magnetic Bouncing Grenade. I don't really notice when the stun works, but it's good steady damage we don't have to think too much about. The Mechasaur Easy Build Kit isn't bad either. It makes Brann's egg more potent, and you don't have to help destroy it anymore. The Pinged Augment chip is a bit of a risky move. It ups Brann's throughput, but you have to be careful of an ad that occasionally spawns. It runs towards Brann, and if it touches him, he'll be stunned and lose a chunk of life. The other combat Curios are just okay. The Foot Bomb is pretty fun, but you also have to watch the ground, and it draws your attention away from the fight. The Pocket Factory offers a combination of crowd control, damage, and healing, but it's only so-so, and the other two Curios are mostly utility-based and also situational. Not that these are bad, I just think the other Curios are better. Under utility Curios, my two favorites are the Pacifist Rig and the 3-dimensional printer. On the PTR, the Pacifist Rig is stupidly powerful. It summons a mecha that has way too much HP and deals millions of damage over 20 long seconds. If it procs during a boss encounter, for example, that boss is pretty much dead by the time the buff wears off. But the proc is random. It'll often fire off at the end of a trash pull or some other inconvenient time. Meanwhile, the 3-dimensional bioprinter is very steady damage. It'll make a copy of elites you encounter in the delve up to 2 at max level. They're only dumb clones that deal melee damage, they don't copy abilities, so again, it makes it a small but reliable form of throughput, as long as you stay alive at least, because they'll despawn if you go down. My tip for now is to clear all the way to the boss with whatever Curio combo you like, and then, if you need the help, switch to the Pacifist Rig to quickly blow through the boss. But knowing how potent it is, I have a feeling that I might get nerfed before long. Loot Raider is also pretty good if you're XP farming, and it's another relatively flat throughput buff. The Biofuel Rocket gear works pretty well if you overpower a delve, or if the delve features lots of weaker mobs. The Comically Large Magnet is for those situations where you're taking too many hits, and the Kaja-Cola Carrier, well, that works pretty well with buffs as you progress through a delve. The Overdrive Pylon is also good for the delve, but not so much if you're struggling against the boss. The Pacifist Rig just works way better. My passive loadout has been to use the grenades and the bioprinter, and then switch to the Pacifist Rig before taking on the boss, especially if I happen to not have bioprint companions. The one thing we don't know for sure yet is if there's a special curio related to the Underpin, the big bad of Delve Season 2. Getting upgrades and high-level crafted gear more in line with raids and dungeons is great, so what about trinkets? Let's take a look at the 10 new trinkets coming in Season 2. I haven't done enough testing, but it's safe to say that trinkets from both Seasons 1 and 2 will still be available. This list isn't confirmed to be final either, I just cross-referenced what's testable on the PTR with Wowhead's database. We found 2 tank trinkets. The Ominous Oil Residue does modest damage mitigation, followed by damage return. The Core Recycling Unit is basically a self-heal, plus heal over time if you've been defeating mobs. There are 2 healing trinkets. The Abyssal Vault is actually less of a healing trinket and more of a self-buff for you and the first target you heal after activating the trinket. Dr. Scrap Heal is a pure passive healing trinket with a main stat bonus. And knowing me though, I'm going to be psycho enough to try it out in my tank spec, for science. There are 4 stat-based trinkets. The Suspicious Energy Drink gives a random mastery proc, and the Amorphous Relic acts similarly to its original Curio form, giving a random buff with a 30-second uptime and 30-second downtime. For melee and hunters, the Mechano Core Amplifier gives a random bonus to either your highest or lowest secondary stat, on top of a main stat, and the Funhouse Lens gives a massive crit bonus when used. And these are, I guess, kind of bursty trinkets. The Ratfang Toxin applies a debuff, and when activated deals damage plus additional damage depending on how many debuffs were applied and to how many targets. Now this might be kinda cool. The nature of how this works suggests that it's not an AoE and thus doesn't have a target cap. Finally, Garbage Mancer's Last Resort is basically an airstrike if you can manage to get it to land. Now let's talk about Tank Brann, who I did a lot of testing with during the PTR. I'm not going to get into every ability here, but he's just very effective at his new job, as in he holds threats, he has decent longevity, and good throughput. However, your strategy with Tank Brann isn't going to be as face roll as some may think. Most of my testing took place in higher level delves, as in 8s, mostly 11s, so here are my findings. Tank Brann is hands down best for healers. He's made especially to fit their needs. All they need to do is keep Brann up and he'll get the job done. He'll hold aggro, he'll kick spells and stun and reduce your damage taken, and of course lay down some justice. All you need to do as the healer is be patient, don't overpull too much, and Brann will take you to victory. Non-healers will have to be careful about Brann's survivability and what they can do to help him out. Tank Brann's throughput depends heavily on his healing received, so if your class can't off-heal, Brann's DPS will only be so great, and eventually he'll go down, and will need a revive. It's a move that's likely to kill you unless you've got a big defensive cooldown. Tank Brann still works though if you're not a healer. You just need to only pull enough that he can handle, and then let him have a moment to drink between pulls. On higher tier delves, and especially higher tier bosses, Tank Brann will eventually go down without a lot of dedicated healing. Also keep in mind he'll stand in AoE without a care in the world, causing lots of trouble for close range classes without a taunt option. My suggestion for non-healers is to use Tank Brann as needed, but not by default. Of course, I don't have experience with many classes at all, so ultimately your mileage will vary. So outside of gear progression, what do we get from delves? What sorts of souvenirs can we sport to say, yep, I was here? First off is the new mount, the Delver's Gobtrotter, which follows the same progression scheme as the Delver's Dirigible. You're going to get it right away with the Season 2 Delve intro. The customizable bits can be purchased via Undercoin and earned in the Delve Season track. A blinged out version is attainable if you defeat the Underpin solo before the end of Season 2. There's a Delve Season track featuring the usual progression, but also includes the Devilbot 7001. It's a toy that'll teleport you to a bountiful delve, which makes it a cool way to start your day. Unfortunately, it's pretty far down the delve track, and I hope this toy works for all delves in WoW going forward. At the end of the delve track is a new campsite appearance for your warband. It's part of a new feature with this patch. A color tint of the 11-1 world set can also be farmed up from delves, and the previous season's world set color can be bought from Finley Murgleton. The cosmetics from Season 1 will still be around, along with all new cosmetics for Season 2, more rare drops, and a certain special hat via questline. There's a handful of new achievements, but here are the ones that give the cool stuff. The Key to Madness awards a big old key as a cloak transmog. All you have to do is spend a total of 500 coffer keys on bountiful delves, no big deal. Complete 500 delves for the Delver title and 1,000 delves for the Infinite Delver title. Defeating the Underpin at all will award a cool back piece, you get a title if you defeat him in hard mode, and I mentioned the Underpin solo achievement already. That about covers everything Delve, which makes this to be a pretty robust offering this season. But if I missed anything, please fire away in the comments. I hope this helped you out, and if so, please like the video, share it with others, subscribe for more WoW coverage and guides, catch me live, and I'll catch you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.